He is the executive director of the Kenya Society for the Blind, and I'm going to be giving him an opportunity to introduce himself. But before he introduces himself, what are we talking about this morning? Now, over the past 1 week, we had a conversation with the British High Commission, and we were talking about the Digital Access Program and what it is doing for the inclusion of persons with disabilities in the digital space and digital inclusion as a whole. But that is not the only thing that we're going to be talking about. He spoke about the Global Disability Summit, how the UK and Kenya hosted the first ever Global Disability Summit. That was 7 years ago. And fun fact, I was with Mr. Samson here in Berlin for the Global Disability Summit 3.0, and we're going to be discussing just a little bit how has the Global Disability Summit evolved, and what does it mean for persons with disabilities in a holistic point of view in terms of inclusion and in terms of persons with disabilities accessing services, and of course what are persons with disabilities on an independent level, because I understand that OPDs can do so much, but also persons with disabilities on an individual level are the same people who make up the OPDs. So what can we do as individuals to move the needle on disability inclusion and advocacy as a whole? If that is a conversation that you're going to be enjoying, kindly comment on our social media platforms. If you are on YouTube, you can subscribe. If you are on Facebook, you can follow, you can like our page, and if you are on Instagram, you can also like and follow us. That is the same on TikTok. Also, you can repost if the sentiments that we are sharing truly resonate with you. Mr. Samson, karibu sana to studio. Kindly introduce yourself and greet our viewers as well.
Thank you, Alan Herbert.
Yes.
Good morning to all viewers of Science TV.
Yeah.
It's really a great honor to be here, and I think you've just introduced me well
Yes.
in terms of my name
Yeah.
and the organization I work for.
Yeah.
But just to say that Kenya Society for the Blind is now 69, and we are doing our 70 years from the beginning of
69
next
years.
year. Yeah, 69 years of disability work. In fact, a lot is not known, and we are working on the KSB history book just to show that we are the first PWD organization in Kenya. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And we really have a lot to share in terms of the work around advocacy, rehabilitation, and access to technology. KSB is created by an act of parliament,
Yeah.
Chapter 251 of the laws of Kenya. So we are a statutory body,
Yeah.
not government, but a public interest society that is a membership organization,
Yeah.
and that has a GM where members are elected, just like the Law Society of Kenya, the way it's established and the way it runs its operations. And we work with like-minded partners to ensure that we enhance the opportunities and we enhance the issue of inclusion. And it's good you recognize the fact that we met in the sidelines of the Global Disability Summit in
Yeah.
Berlin.
Yeah.
It's good to see you again, brother. I think
Yeah.
we've met also here, but you know, most of the times we don't remember how often we meet locally.
Yeah, but internationally, that is
Yeah.
where we create the buzz.
That's why I create the buzz, brother, and those are the memories we keep. In fact, I was just telling someone that if we really want to unite our country, we should export everyone. And when we meet abroad, when we come back,
Yeah.
we'll have one nation.
Yeah. So Simon, basically what you're quipping is we should have another Berlin conference as such that partitioned Africa.
Yeah, maybe, or one in Asia,
Yeah.
and maybe some place like Singapore, and we go deal with challenges as Kenyans. You know, the spirit of Kenyans is really encouraging, and when they come together to support
Yeah.
one of them or a cause,
Yeah.
they really show the unity without all these tribal things and everything. So I think if we met all Kenyans, 50 million,
Yeah.
outside this country,
And then we
would come back much more better.
For the first time, we'll have a country shut down for innovation.
Yes.
Interesting.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, we're going to start actually on the conversation of the Global Disability Summit.
Yes.
And I want my producer to play a clip where the British High Commissioner, that is Dr. Ed Burnett, where he was referring to the first Global Disability Summit that was hosted between Kenya and the UK. That is 7 years ago. Here is what the High Commissioner, the acting High Commissioner, had to say.
Yeah, 7 years is quite a long time. Would you be able to paint a picture of some of the successes that have been achieved since the first Global Disability Summit?
So I think there have been, well, what we tried to do with the Global Disability Summit is that countries that were participating in the summit needed to come with pledges and commitment in terms of the action that they were going to take on inclusion around the world. I'm not going to be able to speak for what is going on across those contexts, but I think one of the important things that we have done since then is to ensure that there is follow-up. And in fact, I said that summit was the first ever. There have subsequently been Global Disability Summits, I think I'm right in saying almost every year since then, to keep track of the commitments that have been made. Here in Kenya, we have a particular focus, and we may come on to discuss that, on the use of digital technology to enable inclusion, and including, and in particular, to enable deaf people to access services.
Bring a platform of global leaders, players, and also stakeholders from diverse backgrounds and entities, and those with disabilities, just to come and share and exchange information on what best practices can easily be put together to support persons with disabilities. And it gave us a basis of what can we put in as commitments as a country. And this was largely driven by the state, the Department of Social Protection, which were the former CS, that was, I believe, Professor Margaret Kobia, read the commitments of Kenya for what we thought we needed to do to enhance the inclusion of persons with disabilities in the space. And I think from that disability summit, things really started moving, but I think COVID came in and gave us another twist. But for me, the greatest commitment in that was the issue of access to assistive technology and innovation. Because who knew that COVID would come and shut down the globe in the manner it did? And what that brought us, or what we learned from that, was that we all got included by force. If it were meetings, they were all Zoom. If it was sharing of documents, because of the lack of physical and everything, we then had to come to the place where we thought, oh, stop for a minute and let's see how can we now make the digital space more inclusive, even for persons with disabilities. So I think that was a really good gain for us. And I think coming now from that and going into the second Global Disability Summit that Norway and Ghana co-hosted, we now really started seeing how these gains could be consolidated, and now how to make this more practical. And I want to thank the British High Commission. They have been extremely supportive in making Kenya a more accessible and inclusive society that is supporting government and also building the capacity of organizations for persons with disabilities and also persons with disabilities themselves. Because we saw from those commitments, we began in earnest to see how could we really make inclusion a reality. And we started approaching it from two sides. There was a baseline that was done then in what we called DAP, Digital Access Program Phase 1.
Yeah.
And this baseline really exposed the glaring exclusion that existed for persons with disabilities to access information.
Yeah.
And so we started training, and you could see persons with disabilities did not have any knowledge of technology devices, even cyber hygiene, where they could just lose their dignity and money because cyber hygiene in this country was not looked at in the context of how can persons with disabilities be protected.
Yeah.
And now, from that training, it started informing us that we needed to have a multi-pronged approach in terms of we address the demand side, where persons with disabilities who need training so that they can engage in economic activities.
Yeah.
And training and giving them skills in digital opens for them opportunities in many, many other fields, because employability is also a big issue. But now you train persons with disabilities, but when they go to use the technology, it's again not accessible.
Yeah.
So what do? We address the supply side, where now we put the government policy makers together, the IT officers, both at the senior level, at the directorate level, the directors and deputy directors, sensitize them and give them tools to really ensure that they can make government websites accessible.
Yeah.
And then we train the technical people who are the IT staff and all those people who make digital platforms and work on them. And so once that happened, we then begin to see a shift in how we enjoy services. In fact, the new government that came in 2022, it's 3 years old now, and the biggest focus was let all government services go digital.
Yeah.
In what is now today e-citizen, the way we know it, including disability registration. And I think this has been really transformational to persons with disabilities, because at least we are no longer carrying many, many papers. Now, for a blind person, you carry this paper, you carry this paper, they all feel alike, you touch them, they are alike.
They aren't even in braille.
You are asked for an ID card, a photocopy, and you even give a title deed photocopy. You see, so that really made things difficult for us. And now coming into how we use the digital platforms to just share your, you have your PIN, your password, or that stuff, and you apply by yourself, fill a form, and see then how you end up getting your government services. Even using your phone, I think that's really transformational. It has really brought in a lot of people back to the digital space. It has given us also dignity in terms of doing our things independently without having to rely on people. And I want to tell you, we did assessment for eCitizen in terms of its accessibility, and it's really accessible up to around 90%, and the rest of the things are being worked on, and that's what we've really been pushing for in terms of now DAP3 that we've been implementing from the year 2024 to this year. And we are taking this further to the justice sector, and we've had very good engagements with the judiciary and the players at the justice level, just to make sure that we can all ensure that persons with disabilities also access justice, because we are users of courts, we are users of services, the children's services, ODPP, and all entities around that area, including the criminal justice system. And so how do we also bring them into the phone and make sure that we are able to make information accessible from that level? And it's really been really eye-opening for all of us just to share the insights that we've had from the DAP phase 1,
Yeah.
how we worked with the executive in the phase 2, and now bringing it now to include also the justice sector.
Yeah.
And I believe we are still going to bring more and more people, because the reality of things is that persons with disabilities can really have an equalized playing field.
As long as they access the services on digital platforms.
Yes, sure.
Interesting. Before we go for the break, there is a word that you used, and I would like you to give us a little bit detail on it. Cyber hygiene. You know, I like admitting when I'm hearing something for the very first time. What cyber hygiene? What really does cyber hygiene entail?
You know, every good thing, Alan, comes with its own challenges. And in this era of digital technology, I keep on telling the persons I encounter, persons with disabilities, technology to us is a basic human need. Without it, we are shattered. We cannot interact with the world. And accessing it brings a whole lot of opportunities to us. But imagine when we were doing things without technology, counting money and everything. We used to have con men around and people who could easily make tricks and see what to get extra from you. But now with technology, it comes with cyber security issues where you will find a lot of things that could really deny us also quality, accessible, inclusive access to technology, because there are those people who are there also to take advantage of persons with disabilities. So when we train our beneficiaries on the use of internet and email, you have to alert them that not all emails are friendly. There are those that come in this manner and maybe they are not even, you can't see a link being sent to you. It's a BCC. And it's telling you click here to maybe activate a code to get how many millions of dollars. Who doesn't want money? But you see, that's how you activate, and your entire information is gotten, your mailbox, what you do and everything. And you now get not to be able to operate. All your information is out there. And then it becomes, and then another horoscope that you as a person with disability didn't have the information that cyber hygiene or training on cyber hygiene could really prevent you from playing into the hands of these people. And we faced it. I think there's a time even systems of
e-citizen itself.
Yes, they are attacked by people who just want to take advantage, and they want to hold a whole system at ransom so that it doesn't do what it needs to do. So let me tell you, my brother, even internet services can be abducted and kidnapped for very big ransom. So that's why cyber hygiene training has been really key in this phase of the project, so that as we use technology, we are then responsible enough to use it in a way where we don't get attacked unnecessarily. So
basically, cyber hygiene, sort of to sum it up, is the do's and don'ts that persons with disabilities probably were aware of or not aware of, on how they can participate fully and, most importantly, safely on the digital platforms.
Sure. And that's why our mantra is what we are doing with the British High Commission and partners in the DAP phase 3, safe, secure, inclusive, and accessible digital platforms. Yes. So the safety comes at that level of ensuring that there is cyber hygiene awareness.
All right. I want us to take a quick break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to be coming back with another snippet from the conversation with the British High Commissioner, where he was sharing some of the innovations that he has been able to interact with. But of course, I know KSP also has been working on a number of innovations, and those are some of those that you're going to be sharing when we come back from the break.
Lovely.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and do keep it